This broadcast from IOF TV is brought to you by Commentator and Lumonite.
Lämpimästi tervetuloa seuraamaan sprinttisuunnistuksen SM-kilpailuja. Olemme täällä Lahdessa Vesijärven rannalla ja aamupäivällä on käyty jo erittäin tiukat karsintakilpailut. Mukana on lähes 2000 osallistujaa 14-vuotiaista 90-vuotiaisiin. Hetken kuluttua pääsemme seuraamaan miesten ja naisten 21-sarjojen jännittäviä finaaleja. Välkomna med och följa de spännande finalerna i sprintorientering här i Lahtis. Antti Harju, karsinnat käytiin jo tämän aamun sprintin SM-kilpailuissa. Oliko siellä jotain yllätyksiä?
Mitään yllätyksiä lopputulosten suhteen ei ollut, mutta ehkä monet yllätti se, että aika haastava maasto oli, tekniset radat ja voi olla, että finaalissa pistetään vielä vähän lisää. Eli karsinta ei antanut mitään ihmeellistä, mutta kuitenkin odottaa, että finaalissa tullaan näkemään tosi tekninen rata.
Joo, eli monesti sprintissä joudutaan juosta tietysti hirveän kovaa ja suunnistustehtävät on haasteellisia, mutta nyt on ilmeisesti vähän urheilijoilta kuultu ainakin, että joutuu jarrua laittaa päälle tietyissä kohti. Miten se vaikuttaa tämmöisen sprintisuunnistuksen tekniseen suoritukseen?
No totta kai ne, ketkä sitä jarrua ei joudu laittaa, niitäkin kyllä varmasti sitten täällä starttilistan loppupäässä löytyy, niin he ovat kyllä vahvoilla tänään, että jos pystyy pitämään sen suorituksen ja suunnistuksen sujuvana, niin tulos on kyllä hyvä.
No mitä sitten, meillä on sekä miehissä että naisissa ihan kansainvälisen tason osallistujia täällä ihan kotimaisista nimistäkin, niin ketäs nostaisit ennakkosuosikeiksi naisissa ja miehissä?
No kyllä ne varmaan sieltä loppupäästä löytyy miesten sarjassa Tuomas Heikkilä, Touko Seppä, Miika Kirmula, Aleksi Niemi muun muassa ja naisten sarjassa sitten nämä meidän kokeneet arvokisaedustajat Venla Harju, Marika Teini, mutta myös Inka Nurminen ja kansainvälisistä juoksijoista erityisesti Teresa Janosikova on varmasti tänään vahvoilla.
Kyllä, ja tämä tosissaan valmistaa nyt aika mainiosti myös sitten pian koittaviin EM-kisoihin. Ja lähdetään seuraamaan, kuinka tänään tuolla meillä kilpailuissa käy ja katsotaan lopputuloksista sitten, että oliko haasteellista ja jännitetään.
And as we heard in the introduction, only 25 days left until the European Orienteering Championships in Italy will start. And of course, that means that many of the runners are in the final period of their preparation now towards those competitions, and a few, maybe more important, have still to qualify for that. And today is one of the two possibilities in Finnish orienteering to do so, to qualify for the European Championships. It's this race today, the single sprint, the individual sprint, and then the knockout sprint next week. So a very important race today. And of course, it's also the Finnish Championship. So welcome here to Lahti, 100 kilometer north of Helsinki. And we also heard that we have had qualification races this morning. Total amount of 169 runners in the men's class and 135 runners in the women's class were fighting for the 52 places in
with Forerunner. See every running insight lit up on a bright AMOLED display and get ready to be better for it. Only from Garmin.
Sinä tekniikan alan ammattilaisena tai opiskelijana tiedät hyvin, että elämässä sattuu ja tapahtuu. Välillä mukavia ja välillä vähän vähemmän mukavia. Onneksi Insinööriliitto on olemassa, jotta sinun ei tarvitse yksin puolustaa etujasi. Liiton jäsenyys on työelämän vakuutus. Se antaa sinulle oikeudellista turvaa ja tukea. Keskity huolettomammin omaan uraasi, verkostoidu ja muista pitää myös hauskaa. Lue lisää inry.fi.
Maanmittausala on suunnistajalle hyvä vaihtoehto siksi, että tässä saa olla tosi paljon karttojen kanssa tekemisissä ja sitten pääsee maastossa kulkemaan työpäivien aikana.
Kaikki, mitä pitää tietää metsästä. Milloin suoritetaan ensiharvennus?
No ei ainakaan viimeisenä.
Oikeaa tietoa tuottavasta metsän omistamisesta saat Suomen laajimmasta metsämediasta. MT Metsä.
So back after this short commercial break, and as I mentioned before, the qualification this morning, 17 runners from each of the heats made it to the final. We will have a bit more than 50 runners in both classes, but let's take a look at the map. It's quite a technical course, as we heard already in the studio. First important leg here from second to third control, a very long leg. We see the different options here. The expected fastest one, or at least the shortest one, the green option in the middle, quite much less distance to go if you go in this green one. You can see it's very typical suburb terrain, so we are not exactly in the city center of Lahti, but just a few hundred meters outside at this bay of Vesijärvi. Then after his long control, 4, 5, 6 very easy controls, a bit time to relax as we go back, then enter the city towards control 9, where we have this other route choice leg. And here the blue one is expected to be the fastest one, or at least the shortest one, so 294 meters to go on this one. And the course continues. It's a very intense course at this point. You can see there are many fences, a few artificial fences as well, extremely many short controls and change in direction, so no time for the runners to relax and do some pre-reading on that. 15-16, another route choice. And again, the blue one is expected to be the shortest one. From control 16, another short loop to control 18. And from there, we start to get back to the arena. First short loop here, then after this route choice leg to control 21. Here, the middle one, the green one, is expected to be the shortest. Then kind of a leg for the spectators to control 22 and 23. And then we're very close to the finish already. The whole course, 4 kilometers long, expected winning time 14 to 15 minutes. And as you can see, 26 controls, many controls on this course. Will be interesting to follow, of course. This is the starting list. And as we had the qualification this morning, of course, this is seeded the other way around. So the best runners from the qualification are going to be starting in the very end. And if we take a look at the favorites for today, I would say that they will start to appear on the next page. We have some runners as well from not Finnish runners. They will not be counting into the championship race here, so they can't win a medal, but of course they still can win the race. Among those runners, Tomas Krifta, for example, for Kalevan Rasti, very good runner this season from the Czech Republic. Then the reigning champion, Mika Kirmula, starting 15:44. And then the last starters, the biggest favorites, of course. The one having done a very good race this morning in the qualification. The 3 heat winners, Aleksi Niemi, Tuomas Heikkilä, and Severi Kymäläinen. So this the start list, and we see some pictures from the terrain. As we said, we are just beside Järvi, the lake where Lahti is located at. Right here, down here, you see where control 4 and 5 will be located in this open area. It's where I said that it's going to be a bit more easy, where the runners will have time to read the map and to kind of recover from the long leg and prepare for the coming shorter legs when they are heading back into this living area, into this typical suburb area here. And we have the first runners out already. First starter was Mikko Patana. Has been out now for almost exactly 3 minutes. So now we have already number 4 at the start, Aleksi Virtanen, 21-year-old. Finished 45th at the Junior World Championships last year in sprint. And the first control, very short one. You can see they were heading into this backyard here. And control then just about 40-50 meters from the start. To go to the left here. Here the control is. So no problem for Virtanen. On the way to the second control, located at the parking area. Yeah, there it is. Have to be careful in order to not overrun it. And now he's heading towards this very long leg to control 3. And as you can see, there are other runners in the terrain as well. It's an open and national competition, so there are many starters here today. But of course, we are focusing on the race of the men and women elite. Tuomo Mäkelä, starting for Angelniemen Ankuri, finished 18th last year. Has actually a silver medal from the sprint championships back in 2015. Then he was only beaten by Yannick Michel, so he should be counted as the Finnish champion then, as Yannick Michels, of course, is representing Belgium. Almost running into the building there just after the start. Have to be careful, of course, when you pick up the map and try to get few information. It's quite easy that you not very focused on where you're running. This is Santeri Silvenoinen for Kalevan Rasti. At control 2 now towards control 3. Going for this straight option that we think is the fastest one, or at least the shortest one. And this is, here you can see some of the difficulties from today. You see many small passages. Every now and then you could lose a few meters if you're not focused. Yeah, exactly, as he's here. When you run around the wrong way around a smaller building or kind of a cycling parking place or something, of course you can lose 2 or 3 seconds every now and then. And then on long legs like this, when you have these buildings that look the same, all of them, you have to be focused, you have to count the buildings. If you start to read ahead on the map too early and kind of let the focus go, it happens very quickly that you lose your position, and then it's hard, of course, to relocate. And we are actually following Silvenoinen now, almost all the way to the control. Here we're heading out. From here it's very easy towards the control. Just follow this road just beside the lake all the way to the control. Almost all the way to control. You have to head back again into the area with a few houses, but from there shouldn't be any problems anymore. Here you can see the GPS comparison between Mäkelä and Silvenoinen. Actually, Mäkelä went on this route that the course planner expected to be the best one. So we'll see if it's going to pay off for him, or if Silvenoinen had a good speed there anyway. Punching at control 5 just there. But I think that Mäkelä is going to show off. He's going to be in the picture very soon as well. Just coming from the right. Or maybe from the left now. We won't see him. This is Josh O'Sullivan from Ireland. 30-year-old. Didn't qualify for the A final at the World Championships last year, but did a good qualification this morning. So here you can see the route choice. Of course, not very accurate there in the middle section. He was running on the path, but well executed, as we can see, to control 3. Maybe a bit on the way to control 5 before he had control 4, but otherwise looked good. This is Emily Suominen. He was in the top 10 2 years ago or 3 years ago at the Finnish Championships back in 2020, starting for Hiden Kiertäjät. Here we are waiting again. At control 5, this should be Anton Salmenkylä. Yes, indeed. It was actually control 4, so on the way to control 5 here. Emil Sternis at the start. I can say that Anton Salmenkylä punched in second position there, just 1 second ahead of Tuomo Mäkelä and 9 seconds behind Akseli Virtanen. See another comparison here, Mäkelä and O'Sullivan on the straight route. You see Suna going more to the east, staying up there. It's about 70 meters longer to go there, so he shouldn't be faster compared to the other two in this section. Samuli Peltola, 22 years old, didn't make it to the A final last weekend where they had the long distance Finnish championships, but made it to the final today, obviously. You can see quite a good start by O'Sullivan. Punching here into second position. Just 4 seconds behind Akseli Virtanen. And he is together there with Jussi Suna. So he caught him 1 minute, almost caught him.
Numero 12 Cernis näkyvissä Teemulla.
This is Emil Sternis on the long route. Did go for the middle option as well. Almost with a crash there. And a good start for Emil Sternis, the Latvian runner, punching after 1 kilometer, 3 1:35 his time, so he's 2 seconds faster than Akseli Virtanen. So new leader after 1 kilometer. Johnny Donner at the start here, 16th starter of the day, 22 years old. Was 19th in the middle championships this year in Finland, 19th also in the long, so let's see if he's going to be in the top 10 as well in today's sprint. Last year he was 46th at the sprint championships, and back at this first TV control or first split time. Samuli Peltola for Jämsän Retki Veikot, punching there in 4th position, 3 minutes and 43 the time for Samuli Peltola, so 8 seconds behind Emils Czernis. Here you can see it, the comparison, quite similar routes. I would even say there that it was exactly the same route. Of course, it differs a little bit due to the GPS accuracy. Now they go different ways. Peltola just going to the left after the fence, and Czernis going a bit more around. Hard to say with the accuracy of the GPS here, if there were any struggles for Czernis, but it looks at least as if Peltola could win back a few seconds, maybe even pass Czernis. Back to the start. Here we have Joona Huila, Iikalista Nouseva Voima. "26 years old. Didn't make it today final in the long distance, but succeeded today, this morning. Back at control 4. This is Vitasari. His time after 1 kilometer, 3:56 into 8th position. 21 seconds behind Emil Czernis. Back at the start with Lexi Soppo from Navi. And at 28th position from last year's sprint championships. And this is actually Virtanen, just punched the last control there on the way to the finish, and this is going to be a new best time. Passing right here in time of 16:28. You can see there 1:30 faster than Mikko Patanau that was the first finisher. You also see Thomas Lima, the Portuguese runner. And if you see those U in brackets there in the result list, that means that it's a runner who is not eligible for medals here, because this runner is not living in Finland. So all the runners having this U marked by their name, they're not going to be in the fight for the medals today. This is Atte Nokka, Lappen Rianto, the clump. Finished 16th in the sprint of the Finn 5 this summer. Last year at the championships, he came 36th. And this is Joona Huila on the way to the third control. It's actually the third control where we get the split for 1 kilometer. So the first split I'm talking about is coming from control 3, so just after this long leg. And Huila punched there 4 minutes and 2 seconds, so 28 seconds behind the new leader we have there, Juha Ylinen. Now we see the graphics. Thanks for that. So you can see it there. So the punch at 1 kilometer is at control 3. So you can see the new leader at that point, Juho Ylinen from Ikalisten Nosova Voima, 1 second ahead of Emil Czernis. Here you have it again. So we have 5 runners within 10 seconds after 1 kilometer. And after the longest leg of the course. Number 23, that's Akseli Ruohola from MS Parma. Yes, 4th place at the Finnish Sprint Championships, but that was back in 2020. Finished 15th last year. But has a good result from the Finn 5 this year, where he came 3rd in the sprint.
Joo, kyllä tuossa karsinnassa 2 aika pahaa kämmiä tuli. En huomannut, tai katsoin, että pääsee portin tai aidan välistä, mutta ei päässytkään, niin joutui vähän kiertämään. Siinä tuli sitten pikku hoppu, mutta lähdetään finaaliin sitten. Kaikki peliin vaan innolla sinne sitä kohti. Kiitos.
Some of the struggles in the qualification, as we have Tuukka Mäkkinen, also he from MS Parma at the start line. Can also tell you that we have a new second position in the finish, Tuukka Sentula, 17:17, so 49 seconds behind the leader Akseli Virtanen. And back to the start, and back to Topi Penttinen, also he from MS Parma. So 3 Parma runners in a row out on the course very soon. Has a top 20 from last year, finished 17th there. And this is Josh O'Sullivan at 3.4 kilometers. You can see it punching in 5th position, so lost quite some time. It's only 7 seconds behind at the first split. Now it's 55. And Suominen punching there as well, 12 seconds behind Virtanen into second position. And we are waiting for Akseli Ruohola. Just saw him at the start a few minutes ago. Now he's here. Punching at... almost got attacked by the dog. So punching here at 1 kilometers, 5 seconds behind into fourth position. So very close here after 1 kilometer. Back to the start, 27th starter of the day. Topias Arola from Päijänne-Rasti. And this is Samuli Peltola at the second TV split, 18 seconds behind, so 14:29 the time for him. Still Akseli Virtanen, the leader at control 22.
Ja Samuli Peltola käy tuolla aallonpurkajalla.
This is Mikko Eerola, starting for Tampereen Pyyrintö. Finished 30th last year at the Sprint Championships. This is Akseli Ruohola we are following here. This is just after control 8, I guess on the way to control 9. Oh, sorry, it's on the way. It's very hard to say. GPS is not very accurate where he is right now. Seems to be 13. Yes, indeed, on the way to control 14 now. So has a few controls left until it's at the second TV control at control 22. Here we can see it. Quite confused by the GPS. Don't really know if he did a mistake was reading back maybe to control 8. Not very smoothly here either. That's actually why I was confused before, because the GPS seemed to be coming from control 8. So let's see at the next TV control if he lost a lot of time. This is Topias Arola punching into 7th position. You can also see that we have a new leader. We still have Juho Ylinen, but we have a new leader at the 2nd TV control, and it is still Juho Ylinen there, 13-17. Very big lead there compared to Akseli Virtanen. Hope we'll see him coming to the finish then very soon. Start number 31, Topi Syrjäläinen, Helsingin Suunistajat. Czech Republic at the World Cup races, finished 40th there in the sprint, and has a 4th position from the Finnish Sprint Championships in 2021, when he was actually the 3rd fastest Finnish runner, so should have a bronze from this race. But some hesitations. And this is Ylinen. I was talking about him before. Very soon to the finish. We're waiting for him here. Oh. That's not good. Doing a mistake here in the end. He had a big lead. Let's see. So the lead was 54 seconds at 3.4 kilometers. Let's see how it will be in the finish. Seems like quite a big mistake here from Ylinen in the very end of the course. Coming to the finish here, is leading at the 1st TV control, still leading at the 2nd TV control, but with a mistake in the end. Start number 17, Juho Ylinen on the way to the finish, but you can see it, the 54 seconds, it's only half of it left when he comes to the finish, so 29 seconds ahead. Akseli Virtanen still the lead, but could have been better today for Juho Ylinen with the speed and the technique he had in the beginning of the course. And there is actually an artificial fence on the way to the 26, to the last control, and I think he got stuck there, getting into the trap set by the course planner. This is Mikko Eerola. Now we're at control 8. Eerola punched the 1st TV control in position 13, 15 seconds behind, and actually here we have a new leader at this 1st TV control, Topi Syrjäläinen, and you can also see that we don't have Ylinen in the ranking anymore, so maybe a miss punch by him or a disqualification. This is Emil Sevilius. And here we can see Colin Kolbe, the German runner, starting for Angelniemen Ankuri, junior world champion from 2018, compared to Syrjalainen, who is leading at control 5. Splitting up there. I think a better option. I don't know if Kolbe can get through where he is there. You have to go down, take this passage where Syrjalainen is. I'm not sure if he's going to see it. That's a big mistake by Colin Kolbe. As we have Eero Heinonen from MS Parma starting into the race. And very soon I think we'll have Akseli Ruohola to the finish as well. Should be on the way to the last control, so I hope we will switch back there. This is Teemu Oksanen at the start, 37th starter of the day of 52, but soon, now we got in soon to the finish. Here he is, Akseli Ruohola on the last meters, and it was a few seconds behind at the first TV control, 6 seconds behind Syrjalainen there, but leader at TV2 and leader at the pre-warning as well, 13:55. You can see it's a huge lead compared to Akseli Virtanen, more than 2 minutes for Ruohola. So a good race from him, definitely.
Joo, eli oli aika vaativa karsinta ja tuli kyllä tosi jalkoihin muutamat rastit ja muutamat virhekin siellä kyllä tuli, että täytyy aika paljon parantaa ja kyllä mä uskon, että se tästä lähtee sujumaan finaaliin.
So Oksanen with a few words after the qualification and back at control 4 towards control 5. Jonas Hubacek, Czech runner starting for MS Parma into 18th position, 3:50 behind. 3:50 is the time, so 17 seconds behind. Heinonen compared to Syrjalainen. We have seen that comparison before. A good option for Syrjalainen. Heinonen's route should be about 70 meters longer. Following Emil Sevilius to control 5. You can see the time there. 9 seconds behind into 5th position. Quite a good start for Sevilius. I can see that we have Sevilius, Syrjalainen, and also Oksanen on the straightway. Small difference just after control 2, where we see that Oksanen went a bit further to the east around that building. But shouldn't be a very big difference in the end, time-wise. This is Syrjalainen. Start number 31 on the way to the second TV control, probably. Just out from control 15. Here we have him. So has to go to 16, 17, 18. And then towards the second TV control. Here we can see the comparison of the route. I actually think that the one to the right is the fastest, so maybe not the one Syrjäläinen is taking. It's at least not the shortest one. But there is only 25 meters that differ between the two options. This is Timo Oksanen, had a good start here, so a new best time at control 5 for Oksanen. Starting for Iikalisten Osova Voima. 3:32, 1 second ahead of Topi Syrjäläinen, and Syrjäläinen punching right there at control 17. This is Otto Simosas. At control 4 has to go a few meters to control 5 and the split time still. So he won't be a threat for the time of Timo Oksanen. But still a good start for him. Into 5th position, 7 seconds behind Oksanen. Anni Ronkainen. Interesting name, 20 years old, finished 10th at the Junior World Championships this year. So here the comparison, Syrjäläinen and Oksanen. You can see that it might have been a bit faster to go to the left here at that point. This is Petja Ylikylä, only 1 second behind Oksanen, so a very good start here as well. And talking about good races, Topias Arula had a good race to the second TV control, taking over the lead, 14:06 at that point. As we see, Tomáš Krivta, maybe one of the biggest favorites for today, the Czech runner, starting for Kalevander Rasti, shooting star this year. Great World Championships, of course, in forest disciplines, but still a good indication about the shape. And then 5th place at the World Cup in Czechia. And here we have Arula, and he lost time towards the finish. He was in the lead at the second TV control, but then lost time to the pre-warning. So he was 5 seconds ahead at the second TV control. He was 12 seconds behind at the pre-warning, and at the finish it's 15 seconds behind Akseli Virtanen. So not the best finish for Topias Arula. And Mathieu Perrin, starting for Helsingin Suunistajat, the French runner. See that? I can see that Oksanen kind of got stuck there on the way to do a mistake. Didn't see that there was no passage through the buildings. So last time Syrjäläinen still the fastest here. Ylikylä in second and Oksanen in third. This is Topi Syrjäläinen punching here, but you can see only in second position because Joni Hirvikallio, didn't see him in the picture for KV, punch there in the lead. 13:47 the time for Hirvikallio, and 13:54, 7 seconds behind Topi Syrjäläinen for Helsingin Suunistajat. And I think that Hirvikallio should be at the pre-warning soon?
Joo, oli itsellä aika haastava karsinta, että ei oikein ole rutiineja, mutta finaalissa karpata. Joo.
Not many words by Mika Kirmula, but maybe the biggest favorite for today, the reigning champion with a good qualification as well. But back to the race, Ani Ronkainen, the junior, 1 second behind at the first TV control. So great start for Ronkainen. And soon we should have Hirvi Kallio to the finish. I think it's going to be tight for the lead. He is fighting against Akseli Virtanen, who is still in the lead in the finish. And here we have him with start number 30 in the yellow and black for KV, punching there the finish, 7 seconds behind. So into second position. Many of the runners losing time actually in the very end compared to Akseli Virtanen. Next one who's going to try to beat Virtanen is Topi Syrjäläinen. Punched the pre-warning as well, so very soon he should be here to the finish. Just in a few seconds, but we have Albert Palman, Espoon Suunta. So this is Syrjäläinen on the last meters, and now I think we're going to have a new best time. It's going to be very, very tight. 1 second ahead of Akseli Virtanen. Syrjäläinen, third position at the first TV control. There we got the time. We have still Oksanen in the lead. Second at the second TV control, but compared to Joni Hirvi Kallio, who lost time in the very end. So good, quite an okay race by Syrjäläinen. But I have the feeling that no one has had that perfect race yet. You can also see the times quite far over 15 minutes so far. This is Toko Seppa for Turun Suunnistajat, the next one who is going to try to get closer to those 15 minutes running time that the course planners expected for today. Tomasz Krifta. We see punch there, same time as Oksanen, and now we're following Mika Kirmula. Seems to be a good start for Kirmula. Only 2 seconds behind Teemu Oksanen and Tomasz Krifta. Share the lead at the first control. And this is Oksanen, Teemu Oksanen. See here, I think this is control 20. Yes, indeed. You can see the route choice to control 21. There's an option as well that you head more to the north, go back out from the control. It's a little bit shorter, but maybe harder to see. Anyway, we are following Oksanen to control 21. You can see there are many runners from on other courses as well. Doesn't make the running easier for the ones competing in the Finnish championships. Third last starter for today. Heat winner this morning in the qualification, Aleksi Niemi for Tampere Pyrintö. 14th at the sprint in Czech Republic at the World Cup. Won the sprint race from the Finn 5 this summer, and is the Finnish champion from 2021. So definitely a runner we have to be looking out for today. And another one punching right there, another very strong runner to look out for towards the finish. Teemu Oksanen punched at the second TV control, and now we have a clear new leader there, 31 seconds ahead, 13:16 the time for Oksanen. And we also know that Hirvi Kallio, who actually was in second position there, lost time, only in third in the finish at the moment. So looks very good for Oksanen just right now. This is Tuomas Heikkilä. Won the silver medal last year behind Kirmula.
Oli kyllä haastava karsinta, että ratamestari oli rakentanut sellaisia aika pahoja pussinperiä sinne radalle. Aika hyvin onnistuin silti sen selvittämään, mutta uskon, että finaali tulee olemaan kyllä vielä haastavampi, että tarkkana saa olla.
And you can see in the picture, Emil Sevilius punched the Finnish into third position. 16:29, so only 2 seconds behind the leader, but still into third position. We have Syrjäläinen 16:27, Virtanen 16:28, and Sevilius 16:29. And the last starter for today, Severi Kymäläinen for Tampere Pyrinter. So now all the runners have started, all the runners on the course or in the finish. And I think we are waiting for Teemu Oksanen to the finish. Here he is, indeed, Ikalisten Nouseva Voima. Punching here, and this is going to be a very good time. Now we're going to get closer and closer to those 15 minutes. He's still in the lead at the first TV control, still in the lead at the second TV control, and now also in the lead in the finish. You can see his lead is 46 seconds big compared to Topi Syrjäläinen, so definitely going to be a top position for Oksanen today. And we are waiting for the last starters to this first TV control. First out here from the 3 last starters, Aleksi Niemi. You can see that it was a quick start, has about 13 seconds to go from control 4 to 5. That should be possible for Niemi. Yes, indeed, punching there with a new best time. 2 seconds ahead of the leader in the finish, Teemu Oksanen. And this is Arni Ronkainen. Still at position 4 at the first TV control. And here now, soon on the way to control 21 and then towards the second TV control, but we're waiting. Still, now we're back with him, Ronkainen. But we're waiting here for the next runner to get to the first TV control. And this is Tuomas Heikkilä, but you can see that he's late compared to Niemi. Lost about 14 seconds on the first kilometer.
Teemu Oksanen, tulit kärkeen juuri tässä maalissa, mutta ihan et tainnut olla tyytyväinen. Kerro vähän kommentteja.
No en ollut kyllä ihan täysin tyytyväinen, että tosi tekninen. Varmaan vaikeimpia SM-sprinttejä on, mitä on juossut. Ja huomasin heti, kun sai Heinosta kiinni ja hän otti vähän eri valintoja, että oli aika paljon eellä sitten siellä. Että kyllä niin kuin tuli virheitä ja niin kuin reitikin oli, tai tuli pysähdyksiä ja meni meidän umpikuihin. Mutta ilmeisesti muillekin on tullut virheitä siellä. Että tietysti tyytyväinen siihen, että tuli kärkeen.
Joo, kyllä se saattaa myös ainakin selostaman mukaan riittää aika pitkälle, joten jäädään seuraamaan, miten lopputulokset sitten ratkeavat.
And here we are with Severi Kymäläinen out from control 5 in 10th position, 6 seconds behind. And that's the standing after 1 kilometer at control 5. Everyone has passed there now. You can see that Aleksi Niemi is in the lead and the leader in the finish in second position, only 2 seconds behind. Still have Krift out there and a few others, of course. Comparison, Niemi, Oksanen. You can see both of them did that small mistake where they didn't really expect that they couldn't get through towards control 8. But you can see that's definitely an advantage for Niemi. This is Mika Kirmula. Not very smooth here. In the meanwhile, I can tell you that we have a new runner on 3rd position. Otto Kario. 16:05, 7 seconds behind the 2nd position, Otto Simosas. And about 25 seconds behind Timo Oksanen. But problems here for Kirmula. Close on the way to control 20. You can see that the leader in the finish behind Heikkilä and Niemi at control 9. It definitely is tricky when you have so many controls in such a short time. This is Ronkainen punching there into 4th position. So quite a good race for the junior, 29 seconds behind. It'll be interesting to see if he can be in the fight for the positions, the start positions for the European Championships in 25 days. But this is Tomas Krifta. And Krifta actually on the way towards the finish already. This should be control 25, so very soon to the finish. Let's see, he was only 2 seconds behind at the first TV split. That was the last time we have seen him. Coming here towards the finish now. Let's see what the time is saying. I think he's late. Yes, indeed. So he lost about 44 seconds from the first TV control to the finish. Of course, not compared to Oksanen, so it was exactly 44. Not the best race. Would be interesting to see where he lost that time in the middle, but back out in the terrain. This is Toko Seppa. Seppa was 12th at the first TV control, 9 seconds behind Niemi. And also Seppa on the way to this control 20, where we've seen many of the runners struggling. There are a few artificial fences in between, so it's not very easy to see where you have to go, but no problem for Sepp at all. This is Frisis Spectors into 17th position, 112 behind, so not fighting for a top position today. Back with Seppa. And Alvar Palman into 7th position, 37 seconds behind. But soon I think we'll see Toko Seppa. Here he is towards this 20-second control. And is he going to be a threat for Oksanen? No, he isn't. Already 6 seconds behind, but I think he's going to beat Otto Simosas, who is actually in second position at that point. And also in the finish. 17 seconds the difference between Oksanen and Seppa. And this is Niemi. And Niemi is, let me see, I think on the way towards control 20 as well. Quite far around. I think that's not the perfect route here for Niemi. Might have lost some time here. It's going to be interesting. He's 2 seconds ahead compared to Oksanen at the first TV split. Now on the way to control 21, and control 22 then will be the second TV control. So he was 2 seconds ahead. But my feeling is that he lost quite a lot of time here towards control 20 because he was going far around to the right, where he could have gone to the left instead. .49, that's Aro Aho into 4th position, 23 seconds behind. And soon we should see Alexi Niemi coming around the corner. Here he is, start number 50, so the third last starter. Punching there at control 21 and now towards control 22. But you see it there, he's late. He was 2 seconds ahead, now he's behind. How many seconds will it be in the end? Hmm. 14 seconds behind. I think that he lost quite a big part of that to control 20, but let's see here. Toko Seppa towards a finish, maybe a top 3 for Seppa. On the last meters here. Was quite good from start to finish, punching to 3rd position, 18 seconds behind. This is Tuomas Heikkilä, and now I think we have a new leader. Yes, indeed, 25 seconds ahead, Teemu Oksanen, and I think that there is a chance now that we're going to get closer to this 15 minutes in the finish if he is not going to do any mistakes here in the very end. So the second last starter took over the lead at the second TV control, and now it's only Severi Kymäläinen who will appear there from the fastest runners. So we are waiting there for him as well, of course. Back to Niemi. Now in 3rd position at the second TV control. This is 51, Heikkilä. Switching back and forth very quickly. Aro Aho to the finish into 5th position, 25 seconds behind. But more interesting, this man here, Tuomas Heikkilä, now on the way to the second last control. And I think he's quite close to Niemi. I don't know if he can see him. Probably not. I can see him there. So very good run here in the end as well for Heikkilä. You can see Niemi there just for a short while. Getting to the finish here, Aleksi Niemi, but you can see the time is running out for Niemi. Not gonna make it into the top 3, but just behind you can see most probably the winner of today's race here, Tuomas Heikkilä punching there. And you can see the time, 15:08, so very close to the predicted 15 minutes, 33 seconds ahead of Teemu Oksanen. And well, it's only Severi Kymäläinen out there now. And let's see, I think he won't be a threat for Heikkilä either. So most probably the winner, the Finnish champion 2023, Tuomas Heikkilä. Taking revenge here for the silver medal he took last year, so gonna end up with gold today. You're only waiting for Kymäläinen now. Kymäläinen punched at control 22, so at the second TV control into 11th position. And at that point he was more than a minute behind Heikkilä, so definitely not gonna beat Tuomas Heikkilä from Helsingin Suunnistaja today. But maybe fighting for a top 10 anyway, Severi Kymäläinen. This is the comparison of the top runners here. As you can see that Heikkilä lost time here in the beginning to the first control. And then maybe not the best exit from control 2, but at least he can see that all of the top runners went for the straight option to control 3. Then the first TV split at 5. Different option for Simosas to 6. Oksanen had a good lead here, but then did this mistake to control 8, where he didn't see that there's no passage just before the control. Runners splitting up here to control 9. And then similar options to 13, only Seppa going to the left. Interesting now, you can see then 19 to 20. That's when Niemi lost the race, where he went all the way to the south round. So where Heikkilä is at the moment, so he had a very long way to go at this point. 20 was the control we saw quite many times in the picture, and 22 then the TV control. So you can see here a huge lead for Heikkilä. And Oksanen wasn't really in danger either for this second position. Different options there to control 25. And Seppa with a mistake, you can see it there, to 26. So those the top 4 from today.
Päivän Suomen mestari Tuomas Heikkilä, lämpimät onnittelut.
Kiitos paljon.
Tuolla näytti tuosta juoksukameran kuvasta ja GPS:stä, että homma oli täysin hallinnassa ja omassa kontrollissa. Oliko se omasta mielestä myös sitä?
No oli se pääosin kyllä hyvin hallussa, että heti alkuun tuli kakkoselle sellainen pieni, ehkä 50 sekunnin hermopummi, juoksin sellaiseen pieneen pussin perään, mutta sen jälkeen lähti kyllä sujuu tosi hyvin ja oli kyllä haastettakin radalla, että sai mennä ihan niin kuin nenä kiinni kartassa koko ajan, että oli hyvä rata.
No näin se vähän oli jo ennakointia siitä karsinnankin perusteella. Onko tämä just sellainen tekninen rata, joka sulle sopii?
No ei ehkä niin kuin perinteisesti ollut ihan niin kuin mun vahvuus näin vaikeat sprintit, mutta
nyt jotenkin vaan napsu kohdalle, että mulla oli ennen kisaa ajattelin, että yrittää niin kuin joka välille nähdä 2 reitin valintaa vähintään ja valita niistä sen lyhimmän, mutta en varmaan puolellekaan väleistä nähnyt kuin se 1 reitin valinnan, kun olisi vaan mennyt muuten niin paljon aikaa siihen reitin valintojen etsimiseen, että sit piti vaan tyytyä siihen yhteen ja juosta sitä.
No, sitä kovempaa olet sitten vaan juossut, jos se on suoraan ollut myös se oikea. Vielä kerran isot onnittelut ja nyt hyviä valmistautumisia sitten kohti EM-kisoja.
Kiitos.
That was the winner of today's race, Tuomas Heikkilä. And we also got Severi Kymäläinen to the finish into 9th position, so a top 10 for Kymäläinen as well. And here you can see the final results. Heikkilä taking the gold medal, just 33 seconds ahead of Teemu Oksanen on silver position, and Otto Simosas 50 seconds behind into bronze medal position. Was quite tight there. Behind Simosas in the fight for the bronze. The 2 winners, or the winner and the silver medalist today, they didn't really have to be afraid for their positions, but behind there was a tough fight for the bronze. Quite many runners here today with struggles. At one point, Tomas Krifta, good start, but then lost time in between. The same for Aleksi Niemi. Did quite a big mistake to control. I think it was control 20.
Tämä on päässyt ihan erinomainen arvosana, että oli varmaan alastari mikä on koskaan juostu. Mikä teki siitä haastavan, kun kerta näin mainitsin? No, just se niin reitinvalintojen vaikeus, että ei niitä niin vaan löytää sieltä. Sitten oli sellaisia niin pussia ja aitoja tosi paljon, jotka blokkasivat sellaisia pieniä välejä. Sitten piti olla tarkkana, ettei mene mihinkään pussin periin siinä matkalla. Se teki se haastavuuden siinä. Jos tätä pohdittiin ja sitten niin kansainvälisellä tasolla, kun mietitään suunnistuksen sujuvuutta ja sitä...
And we could see again the winner, Tuomas Heikkilä, and I think we're going to switch very soon to the women's race.
Train brilliantly with Forerunner. See every running insight lit up on a bright AMOLED display. And get ready to be better for it. Only from Garmin.
Sinä tekniikan alan ammattilaisena tai opiskelijana tiedät hyvin, että elämässä sattuu ja tapahtuu. Välillä mukavia ja välillä vähän vähemmän mukavia. Onneksi Insinööriliitto on olemassa, jotta sinun ei tarvitse yksin puolustaa etujasi. Liiton jäsenyys on työelämän vakuutus. Se antaa sinulle oikeudellista turvaa ja tukea. Keskity huolettomammin omaan uraasi, verkostoidu ja muista pitää myös hauskaa. Lue lisää ilry.fi.
Maanmittausala on suunnistajalle hyvä vaihtoehto siksi, että tässä saa olla tosi paljon karttojen kanssa tekemisissä ja sitten pääsee maastossa kulkemaan työpäivien aikana.
Kaikki, mitä pitää tietää metsästä. Milloin suoritetaan ensiharvennus?
No ei ainakaan viimeisenä.
Oikeaa tietoa tuottavasta metsän omistamisesta saat Suomen laajimmasta metsämediasta. MT Metsä.
Now we're back here, definitely back for the women's race. Actually started already 15 minutes ago. So we have quite a few starters, a few runners out on the course already. Of course, also the women had the qualification this morning, the same here. 3 heats, 17 runners made it to the final, or should have been 17 runners, but in one heat we had 2 runners on 17th position, which makes it 52 runners to the final, also in the women's class. You can see the startist here. Interesting, especially 107, Ida Haapala, the bronze medalist from last year, didn't have the best qualification, so an early starter here will definitely set first mark here. We will see a first time, and then it will be interesting to compare her to the others, because she will, of course, be still one of the favorites for today's race. About the very big favorites coming towards the end in the women's race as well, the best runners from the qualification, and especially then on the very last page we have many interesting names. Defending champion Venla Harju won the race last year ahead of Marika Teini and, as I said before, Ida Haapala. You can see that both Harju and Teini had a better qualification than Haapala, because they are starting quite towards the end. Harju starting with start number 145 and Marika Teini with 150. The same here. If you see the runners with the U in brackets, as for example Teresa Janosvikova, also one of the favorites for today, then those runners are not eligible to take a medal today because they are not living in Finland permanently. So the runners with a U not counting for the Finnish championships, but of course allowed to take part here in this world ranking event. Very last starter, Eveli Kasiku from Estonia, one of the heat winners of today. So let's take a look on the map. Let's take a look at the course. Similar or exactly the same start as in the men's race. Also this long leg, exactly the same as we had in the men's race. So until control 3, everything the same. We had the green option. We could see it in the men's race. Most of the top runners on this green option. You can see it's 63 meters shorter compared to the blue one, and even a bit more compared to the red one. Then different control to control 4. You can see that control 5, the TV control, the first TV split, approached by a different direction compared to before. The men had 6-5 as their 4th and 5th control. So TV control here at control 5. Then a route choice from control 6 to 7. Here we expect the fastest time being run on the green option straight, 253 meters. Similar characteristics in this middle sections, many control, many kind of changes in direction. 11-12, another route choice. It's the same as the men had 15-16. So here we think that the blue one should be the fastest, or at least the shortest one. Short loop also in the women's class to 13-14. 15-16, and this option we've seen before, where a few of the runners struggled with finding an entrance to the control, getting then to 17, and at control 18 we have the second TV control. So 17, 18, 19, also it's the same controls as we have seen in the men's race. And from there towards the finish, so the women's course, 3.5 kilometers long, 22 controls. And as I said, we already have a few runners out on the course. And especially interesting, of course, Ida Haapala, the bronze medalist, starting for Kalevanderasti, bronze medalist from last year's Finnish championships in sprint orienteering. And actually, she should get towards the finish very soon. So that's the standings at the first TV control at control 5. 4:31 for Haapala. You can see it 6 seconds ahead of Rantala and 8 seconds ahead of Patana. Something I didn't mention yet, they have to flip the map. So they have a map flip at control 5 as well. So they have a map on both the front and the backside. And then they flip it at control 5. Otherwise, there would be too many controls on the map in this section, with many shorter controls in the middle. So here you can see it, Ida Haapala's route so far on this course. Hard to see if there were any mistakes. I can't spot any just here. So very soon to the second last control and then to the finish. I think that we're gonna see her very soon. Here she is. Start number, no, it's not Ida Haapala. We're waiting for start number 107. I think that was Jasmina Rantala. Here she is. 107 starting for Kalevanderasti, and we have seen the course. It seemed to have been a very good race here for Ida Haapala. Let's see what this time is worth. Punching there at the finish, and her time 16 minutes and 17 seconds. So taking the lead ahead of Milja Vätäjä with 41 seconds. Also, they share this second position, Vätäjä and Rantala. So 41 seconds the lead for Ida Haapala, and she's still in the lead at the first TV control. This is a comparison between Haapala and Sari Antonen. Sari Antonen was 14 seconds behind at the first TV control. It seems to be much tighter here. Control 15. But at the start now, Anna Karlova from Czech Republic, 20 years old, did actually run the World Cup in Czechia, but not the sprint. Finished 17th in the distance there. But has, of course, results in sprint as well. Finished 8th at Junior World Championships. So name for the future, definitely. This is Milla Mattila. So with a good start, 7 seconds behind Haapala into third position. Interesting, different routes to control 17. It's gonna be tight between Sari Antonen and Ida Haapala to the second TV control. This is Antonen, still 8 seconds to go. It's going to be very, very tight. The gap at the first TV control, as I said, 14 seconds. It's definitely less now. It's only 2 seconds. So that's not over, of course, for Antonen. And at the start, Matilda Latvala for Suunto Jyväskylä.
No huomenna Vieskussa ole varastella kova joukko jälleen, eikö niin?
Joo, kyllä meillä on monta pelaajaa, niin odotan kyllä innolla.
No niin, jäädään legendaarisesti katsomaan, että mihin tää riittää. Kiitos.
Kiitos.
Jäädään jännittämään, mihin se riittää. Iina Westerlund tuli tuossa haastattelun aika maaliin meni 4.
Different options out from control 2. I think that's, here we have the reason why Antonen was behind Haapala at the first split. You can see it here. It was about 14 seconds. This is Sara-Elise Ruokonen. About half a minute behind. More interesting will be Karolina Ukskoski, as we have seen in the GPS comparison. Should be there very soon. I think that might be her in the picture here. Start number 123. Yes, indeed. And Ukskoski will take the lead here by 8 seconds. So great start for Karolina Ukskoski for Lahten Suunnistajat, the organizing club of this Finnish championships in sprint. And soon we'll have Antonen to the finish. Now we see Elli Peltomäki. Soon Antonen to the finish. So it will be very interesting to see if she can be a threat for Ida Haapala. Here I think we have her. Sari Antonen. So a lot of time she lost on this leg between 2 and 3, then got very close towards the second TV control, but lost time again here in the very end. So the gap between Antonen and Haapala, 18 seconds. It's only 2 seconds at the TV control, so she lost about 16 seconds in the very end. That seems to be happy. At the start now, Anni Hanpää finished 6th in the long distance Finnish championships just last weekend. So here the comparison between Ukskoski and Haapala, and you can see that there's quite a gap between the two of them. Both on the same route to control 9. As we see Anina Taipale punching this first TV control in 9th position, 25 seconds behind Karolina Ukskoski. So can mention that Jenny Patana punched at the finish into 4th position, around 52 seconds behind Haapala.
Ei siellä varmasti kukaan pysty
And we're waiting at the first TV control for Matilda Latvala. 11th position for Matilda, 26 seconds behind. Velda Taulavuori for Jämsänretki Veikot at the start, 23 years old, finished top 10 last year, in 10th position then at the Sprint Championships. This is Karina Nurminen for Tampere Pyrinto, and a good start for Karina Nurminen, punching there into 3rd position, 13 seconds behind. Back with Ukskoski. I think at control 12, this is control 13. So now on the way to 14. You can see it's very intense to read the map and kind of try to plan ahead, because you have these small passages, small paths where you can follow here. Good route choice to control 15 as well. Another tricky one. You can see the artificial fence that's built up there just where you would like to enter to control 16, so you have to go all the way around, but it doesn't seem to be a problem for Ukskoski. Anni Hanpää punched at the first TV control, 16 seconds behind Ukskoski in 6th position. Aino Menkele into 2nd position, 6 seconds behind. So 2 seconds ahead of the leader in the finish, Ida Haapala. Nora Hyrinen for Helsingin Stunistajat finished 20th in the long distance race last weekend. Let's see what she can do in the sprint. Waiting for Venla Taulavuori to the first TV split, but she's late. Ukskoski has been out for about 13 minutes now, so soon she should be at the second TV control. This is Anna Hataja representing Pojantäti. Here she is, Ukskoski, on the way to the second TV control, and this is going to be interesting now because I think we're going to have a new leader. Definitely going to have a new leader. Only a few meters to go and 20 seconds left. Punching right there. And the new leader, Karolina Ukskoski, their lead 13 seconds compared to Ida Haapala and 15 seconds compared to Antonen. But we know that Antonen lost time in the very end. So looks good for Ukskoski. And at the start, Maja Sianoja, 7th at the World Cup in Czech Republic, in Czechia, just a few weeks ago. Finnish champion in sprint in 2020.
Joo, eli oli ihan haastava karsinta, että sai kyllä tarkkana olla ja piti joka rastille oikeastaan katsoa tarkasti, että mistä sinne rastille pääsee. Ja, oletettavasti veikkaisin, että finaalissa on luvassa samanmoista, voi olla jopa vielä haastavampaa, eli tarkkana pitää olla. Ja ehkä sanoisin, että tällä kertaa suunnistus edellä, ettei niinkään pysty ajattelemaan sitä, että nyt pitäisi iskeä ja fysiikalla koittaa, että kyllä nyt pitää olla tarkkana.
And as we heard from Sianoja, we can see that Iso Herrannan punched here in second position, but only 1 second behind Karolina Ukskoski. Looks like more in the GPS, but it was 1 second at control 5. So very tight race between the two of them. Can see the different options here, but it is the shortest one to go on the green one. It's not very hard to see on the map. There's nothing really in the way where you have to go far around if you take the straight option. So I guess that most of the runners see this one. Also that you have been running there, if you have been running the straight option to control 3, you have already seen that passage halfway. So no big surprise that they take this one. But now we're at the finish again and waiting for Ukskoski coming here. And will it be the new best time? It's gonna be very, very tight. She was in the lead, 13 seconds ahead, but it's gonna be very tight here. She's late, actually, 1 second behind Haapala. So Ukskoski lost. She lost about 14 seconds from the TV control to the finish. Try to figure out where she did that. Maybe we can see a GPS replay later on. But there must have been a mistake by Ukskoski in the very end. 14 seconds she lost from 18 to the finish. And she also lost the lead. So still Ida Haapala, Kalle van der Rasti in the lead, 16 minutes and 17 seconds. And Ukskoski, who was in the lead at the second TV control and then the pre-warning as well, 1 second behind in the finish. Nora Hyrinen into 24th position, 38 seconds behind. So quite a big time loss here in the beginning. More interesting with Anna Hataja coming here. 9 seconds behind Ukskoski into 5th position. At the start, we have Mia Nittinen representing Kalevan Rasti. She was part of the World Cup team in Czechia, but didn't run the sprint.
Joo, mut yllätti karsinnassa ehkä se, että oli aika pieniä koloja, mitä piti nähdä, ja aika vaikeaa suunnistusta, että oli ehkä vähän ajatellut, että olisi ollut vauhdikkaampaa. Tein yhden virheen, kun en nähnyt yhtä pientä, ettei yhdestä kolusta päässytkään. Että toivottavasti ne sais karsittua pois finaaliin.
So here again we see Ukskoski, and this is where she lost it. Probably, I think she went too far around to 21, but it's very hard to see what she did to 22. She seemed to have a small advantage still at control 21. Anyway, this is Maju Oksanen. She finished 5th at the long distance championships last weekend. Was then disqualified in last year's sprint championships, so quite sure she's eager for revenge today. This is Salla Isoheranen, second at the first TV control, and now on the way to this is control 14, so very soon on the way to control 15. And we're waiting for Veera Klemetinen to the first TV control. Here she is. Won't beat the time of Ukskoski, but not far behind. 3 seconds behind into third position. Only 2 seconds behind Isoheranen as well. But she is ahead of the leader in the Finnish, Ida Haapala. 5 seconds ahead of Haapala. Inka Nurminen. Finished 10th at the World Championships last year in sprint. And just outside the medals in the Finnish Sprint Championships. Interesting as well.
Ei mennyt ihan putkeen, että siellä tuli alussa aika paljon semmoista tötöilyä, huonoja reitinvalintoja, mutta selkeästi herätti hyvin iltapäivää, että tulee olemaan varmasti tosi teknistä, mikä kyllä sopii mulle, että on sillain tosi innolla lähdössä iltapäivää ja katsotaan mitä sieltä tulee, että nähdään se mahdollisuutena ja annetaan kaikki ja katsotaan mitä se sitten näyttää lopussa.
And Isoheranen was just about to say it, mention it, before we saw the interview with Nurminen. She did a mistake to control 16, so I guess that she lost time. Was running far too way around, didn't see a small passage. As we have the winner, the reigning champion, out on the course now, Venla Harju.
Joo, oli tosiaan aika tiukka karsinta. Piti kyllä pysähdellä muutaman kerran, että näki, että eikö sieltä tosiaan pääse lyhyempää reittiä, kun piti tehdä aika isoja kiertoja siellä pihalta toiselle. Ja odotan kyllä samanlaisia tehtäviä vähän tuohon finaaliin, että on sopivasti laitettu vähän tekoaitaa semmoisiin paikkoihin, että pidentää reitinvalintoja niin, että ne on aika vaikea tehdä. Toivottavasti vähän paremmalta tuntuu juoksu iltapäivällä.
And here we have her, Salla Isoeranan, still with a very good time. So very, very quick, even though she seemed to have struggled a bit to control 16. She is still the fastest one to this second TV control. 21 seconds ahead of Karolina Ukskoski and 34 seconds ahead of the leader in the finish, Ida Haapala. And at the start now, start number 147 of 152, Kirsi Nurmi representing Pojantäti. Was actually Finnish champion in sprint back in 2017. So has some experience and knows how it feels like to be the best one in the country in sprint. And we are with Hanne Hilo. Good start for Hanne Hilo. 5 seconds behind into 4th position. And back with Salla Isoeranan on the way to control 21. So 21 seconds was her lead at the second TV control. And soon she will be at control 21. And from there it's a very short way only to control 22. I think she's coming here already. Yes, indeed. So this is going to be a new best time for Salla Isoeranan representing Lynx. And the time just going to be under 16 minutes for Isoeranan. I think she had a small mistake, or then we had some GPS inaccuracy, but still quite a big lead compared to Ida Haapala, and also the split times look very good at the moment. No times that were very much faster so far during the course. Let's see if Vendla Harju can change that. I think she's gonna be a bit behind, but not far behind. Only about 3 seconds into 4th position, so quite an okay start for Vendla Harju. Also see that we had Inka Nurminen there as well into 2nd position, 4 minutes 24. So the same time as Salla Isoeranan. This is Marika Teining starting. 3rd last starter of the day. Took a silver medal last year. And this is Teresa Janosikova, the Czech runner. Very good in sprint, and you can see it here. The same time as Karolina Ukskoski. So a shared lead at this first TV control between Ukskoski and Janosikova. Elisa Ankelo representing Parma 21 years old. A very good qualification race this morning. But a mistake here just after the start. She should have turned in to the right. Maybe 4 or 5 seconds there.
Salla Isoherranen, menit kärkeen tässä maalissa ja selostamassa sanottiin, että riittää varmuudella plakettiin. Mikä oma fiilis nyt oli naisten sarjassa, vaikka vielä olet nuorten ikäinen?
No joo, oli se tosi hyvä suoritus, että ehkä oli aika paljon vaikeita etinvalintoja, että joutui normaaliin enemmän pysähdellä sprintiksi, mutta on kyllä tyytyväinen siihen, että vaikka niitä pysähdyssekunteja tuli, niin ehkä ne sitten maksoi takaisin sillä, että otti oikeita valintoja.
Onnittelut kovasti ja jäädään jännittämään, että mikä se loppusija sitten on.
Yes, kiitos.
And you've just seen the last starter of today's race, the Estonian Eveli Kasiku, heading out to this 3.5 kilometer long course, and we are following Maija Sianoja at the moment on the way towards the finish. This should be control 21, second last control. So very soon to the finish, and fighting there for, it's gonna be tight. I think she's late compared to Isoherranen, but definitely fighting for her second position. As we have Veera Klemetinen, 19 seconds behind into third position, but here Sianoja into second position. 7 seconds behind Isoherranen and 16 seconds ahead of Ida Haapala. So second position for Maija Sianoja. And Klemetinen, we have seen just before at the second TV control, was 1 second slower compared to Maija Sianoja. So it's going to be interesting there as well. You can see different route choices between 8 and 9. Nurminen taking the steps down. The other ones running around. And quite a big lead here for Nurminen. At control 12 and 13. Nurminen at the first TV control. She was only 1 second behind Janošíková. Looks very, very promising for Inka Nurminen here. You can see there's quite a gap between her and Harju and Isoherranen. This was Veera Laksavita, but lost a lot of time, almost a minute on this first kilometer. So we are waiting for Marika Teini, but also Teini is late. "26 seconds behind Ukskoski. She must have struggled with the route choice or with the control in the beginning. Here we are at one of the last controls with Inka Nurminen. Was actually control, I would say 16. So soon on the way to the second TV control. Have this longer leg between 16 and 17 first, where she's running right now. And at control 17 we should see her towards the TV split. Struggling here as well. She's right. You can see it here in the split screen. We had some hesitations there due to this artificial fence just east of control 19. But Nurminen should be at this control 18 very soon. And the leading time there, 13:11 by Salla Isoeranan. Back to the finish, back to the last control. And here we have Mia Niitinen. And this is going to be extremely tight between Niitinen and Isoeranan. She was about 3 seconds behind at the pre-warning, so let's see now. I think she's late here compared to Isoeranan, but very close into second position. Mia Niitinen 4 seconds behind Isoeranan and 3 seconds ahead of Sianoja.
Mia Niittynen kakkoseksi, Salla Isoeranen pitää kärkipaikkansa ja sitten palataan Inka Nurmisen vauhtiin. Hän on
Exactly the same gap as she had at the second TV control. So a good race by Mia Niittynen, but let's see now Inka Nurminen. Can tell you that she punched this second TV control in a clear lead. She was 41 seconds ahead of Salla Isoeranan, but now we get to see Vendla Harju in the picture as well. Very soon to this second TV control, and then I think we're going to have a new second best time here. Can see it, 41 seconds the gap between Nurminen and Isoeranan, but it will be less compared to Harju. But how big will the gap be? Harju punching right there, 31 seconds behind Nurminen, so she has 10 seconds advantage compared to Isoeranan to take this second position. And we are following Nurminen on the way to control 21. And then very soon to the finish. So this is the second last control. Very soon she should be here, if she is. And this is going to be a very, very clear new leader. You can see it there. More than a minute to go for Inka Nurminen, and we didn't see any bigger mistakes from her. So this is definitely a very good race for the runner representing Jämsän Retki Veikot, and just under 15 minutes, so 14:58. Great run by Nurminen. Of course, we have a few runners to come. For example, Jano Sikova, who had this shared lead at the first TV control. You can see the comparison here. It's a huge gap between Nurminen and Harju. You can also see different routes from 19 to 20. Here we are with Vendla Harju. On the way to the 21st control. We also got the punch of Jano Sikova at control 18. She was late there. She lost a lot of time between the first and second TV split. She's now 48 seconds behind in 5th position, but about to do another mistake from 19 to 20. But let's take Harju to the finish. This is going to be a new second best time. She had about 10 seconds advantage compared to Isoeranen. It's definitely more in the finish here, so good finish for Vendla Harju, punching right there into the preliminary silver medal spot. So Inka Nurminen in the lead with a time of 14:58. Vendla Harju's time 15:40. 42 seconds behind Nurminen. And next one to this second TV split should be Ami Nymalm, representing Pargas. Yes, indeed, punching there into third position. 36 seconds behind. And that means she's 5 seconds behind Harju. So still in the fight for a silver position. You can also see that she caught Kirsi Nurmi, who started 1 minute in front of her. Now we are behind Teresa Janosikova. But as I said, she lost time between the first and second TV control. Then too far behind in order to take a medal. Coming here into 6th position. 1:11 behind Nurminen. Not very satisfied with her run. And start number 150, Marika Teini. Was in 28th position at the first TV control already. But 25 seconds behind, hesitations here as well. Teini on the way to control 17, the one just before the second TV split. And we are waiting for Nyman to the finish. Here she is together still with Kirsi Nurmi, and it's not gonna be good enough for the second position, but I think she will take over the third position from Salla Isoheranen. Ami Nymalm representing Parigas on the way to this bronze medal spot right now. Punching there 1 second, no, 3 seconds ahead of Isoheranen, 53 seconds behind the current leader Inka Nurminen. And it's very hard to see anyone here in the field that could be a threat for the current leader Inka Nurminen. We still have Eveli Kasiku to come. She was 17 seconds behind at the first TV split. Marika Teini was too far behind as well. This is Kasiku in the picture, so let's see here how the race developed for her. Kasiku punched at control 16, now on the way to 17. We can see, let's see if we can see anything that could have happened here to Nymalm. See that Janosikova didn't have the best route to control 17. Couldn't spot anything. But Nyman not in the ranking anymore. So probably a mispunch. I'll keep you updated about this. This is Kasiku, but you can see the time for Kasiku. She's more than a minute behind. .120 behind into 14th position.
mikä pomppu. Tämä tarkoittaa, että Salla Isoherranen nappaa nyt sen bronssin sittenkin omiin hyppysiinsä tämän päivän osalta.
And Taney to the finish. Just into the top 10. No, into 11th position. 132 behind. So here we get the answer here. Nymalm punching at control 5, but then at this map flip she forgets to take control 6. So jumped over this one control, so that's why we don't have her in the results anymore. So the standings right now at the finish, Inka Nurminen, she's gonna win the gold medal here because I can't see anyone else who can be a threat for her. So Inka Nurminen gonna be the winner of today's race. Second position, silver medal spot, Venla Harju from Tampere Pyrinto, and third, now back on third after this dropout.
Inka Nurminen, lähellä ainakin näyttää siltä, että tulee Suomen mestaruus tänään. Kerro vähän omasta kilpailustasi.
No, sanotaan näin, että oli kyllä tosi vaikeaa, mutta se sopii mulle ehdottomasti hyvin. Että kyllä mä pysähdyin siellä matkalla monta kertaa ja luulin pari kertaa, että ei hitto, että nyt se kosahti. Mutta ei onneksi kosahtanut. On kyllä tyytyväinen ja vielä tuossa lopussa kuulin mikä oli tilanne ja sille pystyin pitämään hermot kasassa, niin siitä on kyllä itsestäni tosi ylpeä. Voin sanoa näin, että kotiin voi sanoa, että tällä kertaa blondin aivosolut osui yhteen.
Tämä kuulostaa loistavalta, eli taktiikka toimi täydellisesti ja nyt
Kyllä.
jäämme odottamaan, että onko se voitto sieltä, mutta onnittelut joka tapauksessa.
Yes, kiitos.
So just about to say that the bronze medal back to Salla Isoherranen from Lynx, and Kasiko getting to the finish. Coming right here. It's gonna be tied for the top 10. So just outside the top 10 into 11th, 132 behind. And with Kasiko we have now all the runners to the finish. And we heard already before the interview with Nurminen. She was able to keep her focus throughout the course and took a very, very clear lead today. This is Taney on the way to 21. I think she might have forgotten to page 21 to punch 21, so she's not in the ranking anymore. Marika Taney. So a few dropouts here towards the end, but this the result list for today's race. The Finnish champion, very clear Finnish champion, gold medal to Inka Nurminen representing Jämsän Retki Veikot. Second place, silver medal to Venla Harju, and the bronze medal after this dropout by Nymalm to Salla Isoherranen from Lynx. But you can see the gaps, 42 seconds winning margin for Inka Nurminen. That's very impressive. Here are the other runners in the top 20. The last one to make it, Anna Karlova for MS Parma, the young Czech runner. And as Nurminen said, the key today definitely keep focus in the middle section where we had really many combos.
Onnittelut jälleen kerran, Venla Harju, hieno suoritus ja hopean mitalli. Miten sinulla itsellä urheilusuorituksesi sujui?
No, kyllä siellä sai nenäkartassa mennä ja niillä vähänkin muutaman 10 metrin juoksupätkillä niin yritin lukea eteenpäin, mutta missasin sieltä kuitenkin pari sellaista pientä aukkoa tuossa pensasaidassa, joista sitten kiersin ylimääräistä taloon ja siinä sitten tietysti meni aikaa aika paljon, että sitä nyt ei huomannut tuossa matkalla, niin kuin, mutta ihmettelin vähän kun välillä näkyi Inkaa ja sitten yhtäkkiä ei näkynytkään missään.
No, nyt on sitten lähestymässä nuo EM-kilpailut, niin miten tällainen hyvin tekninen sprintti sun mielestä sopii valmistautumiseen?
No, tämä on suomalaista sprinttiä ja sitten Italiassa on tulossa aika erinäköistä todennäköisesti, että no, kyllä ei ainakaan tämän vaikeampaa voi teknisesti olla.
Ja hyvin se lopulta oli hallittu kuitenkin. Tänään aika moni tuli näitä hylkäyksiä, mikä ehkä hieman hämmästytti, mutta pidit pakan kasassa ja lämpimät onnittelut siitä.
Kiitos.
Was just about to wrap it up, summarize it. Key was to keep the focus in this middle section where we had many short controls and you had to be very careful in order to not miss a control or not miss a passage or an entrance. You can see different approaches here to control 2. We didn't really see that in the men's race. Most of them went to the east. The same picture here on the route to the third control. All of the top runners, they went straight. Different approaches to control 4. Then here control 5, 6, decisive for Nymalm, who forgot to punch control 6. Otherwise, very similar routes so far. Some different micro route choices. But here, definitely the section where you had to be so careful with your map reading. You can see Nurminen, good way down there, taking the steps to control 9. And you can see in this section where there were so many decisions to take within short time, Nurminen could just work out a big lead to her favor. And many different routes. A very good route here to control 15 as well for Nurminen. But something the course setters really succeeded with today was to keep the runners occupied, keep them busy. They couldn't really calm down at any point, or at control 5. And maybe here 17, 18, but otherwise a very, very intense sprint. And you can see in the end there were a few different route choices here to control 20. Harju going all the way to the north, the other ones going to the south. And Nurminen already in the finish when the others are or were at control 21. So this is the Finnish champion for today, Inka Nurminen, taking this gold medal. And in just about 25 days, we're going to be back with sprint from the European champions, then also here on this channel.
Train brilliantly with Forerunner. See every running insight lit up on a bright AMOLED display. And get ready to be better for it. Only from Garmin.
Sinä tekniikan alan ammattilaisena tai opiskelijana tiedät hyvin, että elämässä sattuu ja tapahtuu. Välillä mukavia ja välillä vähän vähemmän mukavia. Onneksi Insinööriliitto on olemassa, jotta sinun ei tarvitse yksin puolustaa etujasi. Liiton jäsenyys on työelämän vakuutus. Se antaa sinulle oikeudellista turvaa ja tukea. Keskity huolettomammin omaan uraasi, verkostoidu ja muista pitää myös hauskaa. Lue lisää ilry.fi.
Maanmittausala on suunnistajalle hyvä vaihtoehto siksi, että tässä saa olla tosi paljon karttojen kanssa tekemisissä ja sitten pääsee maastossa kulkemaan työpäivien aikana.
Kaikki, mitä pitää tietää metsästä. Milloin suoritetaan ensiharvennus?
No ei ainakaan viimeisenä.
Oikeaa tietoa tuottavasta metsän omistamisesta saat Suomen laajimmasta metsämediasta. MT Metsä.
No niin, Antti. Kisa on käyty ja sprintin Suomen mestaruusmitalistit muun muassa on nyt selvillä. Mitä kaikkea ihmeellistä kisa meille tarjoili?
No se oli odotetun tekninen ja joitakin hylkäyksiä tuli ehkä ennakkosuosikeillekin, mutta Suomen mestarit tänään erottui. Tuomas Heikkilä, Inka Nurminen osoittivat, että sprinttiin panostaminen on kannattanut heillä. He on priorisoineet tätä lajia ja tänään tuli ylivoimaiset Suomen mestaruudet, joten heidän osaltaan näyttää tosi hyvältä kohti Italian EM-kilpailua.
No, onko se kyse sitten siitä sprintin teknisestä taitavuudesta vai juoksuvoimasta tuolla asfalttiteillä? Mihin se perustuu?
Se on ihan molempia, että molemmat on varmasti fyysisesti erittäin hyvässä kunnossa, mutta myös tehneet paljon töitä. Tehneet tosi paljon sprinttiharjoituksia tässä loppukesästä ja näitä kisoja lähestyttäessä. Ja se näkyy tänään, että heillä oli hyvin sujuvaa suunnistusta ja siihen se varmasti tänään ratkesi, ei niinkään juoksuvauhtia.
No miten sitten, millaisin odotuksin tämmöisen näytöksen jälkeen me lähdetään sitten suomalaisina katsomaan tuonne EM-kisoihin?
No siellä on odotettavissa vähän erilaista suunnistusta. Että varmastikaan tämän teknisemmäksi sprintti ei enää voi mennä, mitä tänään nähtiin, mutta oli hieno kilpailu ja Italiassa sitten mennään enemmän semmoista kansainvälisen tyylisprinttiä, missä juostaan tosi kovaa ja tehdään toki reitinvalintaa, mutta koko ajan ollaan aika lähellä sitä täyttä vauhtia juoksun osalta.
No se ja sitten seuraavat jännityskohteet sprintin osalta meillä siellä, mutta sitä ennen me päästään huomenna uudestaan seuraamaan aivan superjännittävää varmasti myöskin, kun on luvassa SM-viesti ja Viestiliigan toiseksi viimeinen osakilpailu samalla ja sitä on meillä sitten huomenna vuorossa, niin jäädään sitä odottelemaan. Kiitos Antti sinulle kommentoinnista ja mukanaolosta.
Kiitos.
This broadcast from IOF TV is brought to you by Commentator and Lumonite.